So today is going to be, I don't know what section of my channel I'm going to put this under. I might create a new segment called The Realist, because I'm finna answer a question, a very controversial question, a very kind of racist question, a racist question with a very messed up answer, an ugly answer, but it's a real answer, and motherfuckers need to know. I can't remember what I was watching. Anyway, I'll be cursing on my channel. My channel different anyway. Like I say, you're not supposed to curse in the first whatever seconds, but a lot of times, especially when it comes to talking real, you can't even take time to worry about the bullshit. America's supposed to be freedom of speech, but only certain people get to exercise their freedom of speech. The fucking white boys. And I'm trying to think of who asked. Oh, so I work in Austin as an Uber driver. I'm not homophobic. I'm not too homophobic, and I'm not homophobic in a bad way. And I'm not homophobic in a way that I should change. And I'm telling all people to stop telling black people, especially us ADOS, African descendants of slaves, that we should be less homophobic. Fuck that. And I'll explain why. My ancestors were slaves. Most of them. I've done the research. You know, a lot of these bitch-ass new wave Republicans, these MAGA fucking Republicans, love saying to us that slavery doesn't affect us, so we shouldn't be worried about it. That's the type of shit that Charlie Kirk said all the time. Why should we be mad about slavery? First of all, fuck Charlie Kirk for even getting in our motherfucking business. If you don't respect us enough to have the empathy for us and respect for us for what we've gone through in this country, shut the fuck up. That don't matter to you about what my people are doing with ourselves, with the newest man-made ethnicity, according to you people. You know, lots of black people have lots of different religions. Some of us believe that we are the Hebrews, the descendants of the tribe of Judah. And we have every reason to believe that. Mathematically, it makes sense. I've read the Bible cover to cover, and I have Jewish DNA in me. Done the ancestry test, but I've always known it. I didn't know it for sure until I became an adult. My Jewish genes come from my biological father. I never really had much of a relationship to him. I talked to him once on the phone. He told me he was adopted. He didn't really tell me what he should have told me from man to man. You know, I think he knows more about his history that he could have dropped me with some Jew. We had a good conversation, and I'm not mad at him. Fuck him. He didn't want to be my father. I don't want him as my father. I'm satisfied with the stepfathers that I had. Not just satisfied, but great memories, great education, and I'm super blessed. I had 4 stepfathers to teach me 4 different types of shit. And my first stepfather, I was born and raised in Chicago in 1978. I was born in Michael Reese Hospital. My mother was raised in a foster home. So as far as how slavery affected me, my ancestors, I was born in Chicago, and they got there. How the fuck did they get there? They walked there during the 2 great migrations. That's how Chicago has so many black people, because of the Great Migration 1, the Great Migration 2. If you don't respect black people enough to know that fucking history, which they did teach you in school, a lot of people say shit they don't teach you in school. If you went to school in America for 12 years, kindergarten through high school, I don't give a fuck what state you lived in. Trump and MAGA want to change the curriculum now, but up until now, they've taught you about the Great Migration 1 and the Great Migration 2, but you probably didn't give a fuck. Anything they taught you in school that you don't know, and not only do you not know it, but do you not know it better than when you was in school? If not, you don't respect it. And if you don't respect it, well, fuck you. Respect is a very big deal. And people don't respect black people. For somebody who is worried, if we are mad about slavery, which we're fucking not, fuck you people very much. You know, motherfuckers like Charlie Kirk probably, his lineage more than likely don't even go back that far, especially as us black Americans. White Americans, even if they do got ancestors, they go back to the Mayflower. It's not going to be most of their ancestors, because Europeans have been flooding to this country since the inception of it. They've been an invasive species on this continent if we're going to speak scientifically. One come and they all come and they kill everything in their wake and slap down cement slabs, put their footprint on it forever. That's what this is. But they didn't do it. We did it. My ancestors did that. That White House that this motherfucker Donald Trump is tearing down right now, fucking slaves built that shit. Out of solid stone. Whoever's gonna work on it today probably don't know how to fucking do the shit. African craftsmen made that shit. But people don't respect Africa or what it's accomplished, or my people, my ancestry. Nobody knows what it is. My favorite stand-up comedian, and fuck everybody else, number one with a bullet, Patrice O'Neal. Patrice O'Neal is the only motherfucker comic that spoke real about Americans' history, racism, and what's going on nowadays. A lot of people don't know this about Patrice, but Patrice caught a case when he was a kid. They only gave him 6 months because it was one of those, he probably is not as guilty as these motherfuckers are saying it is. Some black-white sexual shit, according to him. Now, I didn't catch no sexual cases, thankfully. But I'm not that type of dude, but it doesn't matter. You look into the history of it, you look at any false execution in America where somebody was executed for a rape that they didn't commit. It was probably a black male. But George Stinney is a great example. George Stinney is the smallest American, the youngest American to ever be fried in an electric chair. He was a very young little boy. He was so small he had to sit on a Bible to fit the headgear that would electrocute him to death. George Stinney. American history. You know so much about black people. Do you know about George Stinney? You should. You should. You should. You complain about other deaths, and you get mad at us when we say Black Lives Matter. But if Black Lives Matter, George Stinney would be in every American fucking history book. Americans would be outraged at what Donald Trump is doing to the museums in Washington, D.C., especially the Black history displays, just changing the laws. I heard a rumor. I don't know how true it is. We'll do research on this on one of my podcasts later. But I heard a rumor today that Donald Trump just legalized outlawing interracial marriage, or he's trying to. But he's saying he's throwing it back to the states. States can now decide if interracial marriage is legal. What the fuck? And nobody's talking about it. This is the news place we live in today. The most insane crimes the news never talks about. And then bullshit crimes, that's all they talk about. They'll talk about the same case. They'll talk about the same murder case for 2 months. Not mentioning the murders that happen every single day in the 48 states of America amongst the 350 million. It's funny what chooses to go national. It's not Black lives. Especially nowadays. The Black Lives Matter movement, we was able to finally see what the cops were doing in this drug war to certain black neighborhoods. Again, back to black or conservatives like Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens and other black conservatives, MAGA conservatives, Jesse Lee Peterson. The list goes on and on and on. But the MAGA folks, the ones that still supported Trump. And Candace Owens is waking up. She's a mother now. She's a black mother, and she has an interracial child in an interracial marriage. She's been going hard at Trump. Is that what Trump is doing right here? Because that's the type of dude he's been. That's the type of president he's been. He will change laws all across the country because one person pissed him off. But anyway, it goes. He was always wanting to get rid of interracial marriage. That makes MAGA happy, especially the conservative branch, the ones that are raring and revving to go to war. They've been wanting second part to Civil War since they lost. And now the Confederate Party is mixed up with the party of Lincoln. And they're going to invade Lincoln's favorite state, Illinois. Well, they've already invaded it. Last I looked, the National Guard of Texas was posted in like Bloomfield or Bloomdale. Hey, Siri. Mm-hmm. Where is the National Guard posted in Illinois right now?
I don't know where you are.
Siri's racist. I asked you to tell me.
Did you get that? Could you try again? Racism is the belief that groups of humans possess different behavioral traits corresponding to inherited attributes and can be divided based on the superiority of one race or ethnicity over another.
I'm going to ask again. No, I don't want you to give me the definition of racism. I want you to stop being racist. Tell me what the National Guard is doing in Illinois right now.
Okay, I found this on the web, for I'm going to ask you again. No, I don't want you to give me the definition of racism. I want you to stop being racist. Tell me what the National Guard is doing in Illinois right now. Check it out.
So Siri's so bad, the first suggestion is an Instagram post. The second suggestion is an Instagram post. And the third one is some local news out of Chicago. So this is an old article though. So this is a fucking old article. October 1st. Anyway, I'm on the Google page. This is why I fuck with Google more than Siri. August 30th, 2025. That's still too old. Since I'm on Google, let me just put in ooh, shit. Look at that prompt. All of these suck. Google sucks too. I clicked on the button and it says download the app. What's going on with the National Guard of Texas and their invasion of Illinois right now? Where are the troops? I have to fight hard. My phone gonna be mad at me for asking all these questions now. The deep state is gonna be after me now. But somebody got to talk about it. AI overview. There is no invasion of Illinois by the Texas National Guard. However, approximately 200 Texas National Guard members were deployed to the Chicago area to protect federal property and ICE operations, sparking legal and political opposition from the state and local leaders. So it's not just Texas National Guard, it's a whole bunch of them, but 200 of them happen to be National Guard. Now, first of all, Texas was a Confederate state. The Civil War has only been over for so long. And since it's been over, the Confederates have been doing the Klan shit, doing the Aryan Nation shit, and all this other shit. They've been doing everything they could to make the South rise again. And recently, we've had the insurrectionists brought Confederate flags with them as they was beating cops with American flags poles at the Capitol on January 6th. And that's funny to people. That wasn't worse than the Black Lives Matter protest. That was cool to see a bunch of motherfuckers with masks and AR-15s invade the Capitol with Confederate flags. They stormed the Capitol with a Confederate flag. Did Washington police? Let's clear that question up. Washington, D.C. police, did y'all really did y'all really see a dude with a Confederate flag and say, come on into the Capitol? How did the Confederate flags end up in the Capitol? And why was all the MAGA people around there cool with it? The party of Lincoln, the Republicans, is now where the Confederates feel comfortable. And now, again, Texas National Guards are posted outside of Chicago against the governor's order. And this is, if they're from Texas, there's some of these motherfuckers that have been wanting the Civil War forever. Texas has been talking about seceding forever. There's a militia here in Texas. There's a lot of militias here in Texas, and a lot of them are secessionist militias. How many of these National Guards that are up there right now are from those militias? Have they even done the background check? Do they even give a fuck about that shit? They make sure to find out if you're in some kind of gang, black street gang, a Hispanic street gang, but these militias, where they've been trying to have a civil war for a really long time. You don't got to take my word for it. Go to their fucking websites. But you've been to their websites. You know. MAGA knows. They see Confederate flags. Every single American knows what a Confederate flag is and what it stands for. Every one of them does. 13 stars, 13 stripes. Those are the ones that need to decide what this country does. And of course, legalize slavery again. That's really the ultimate goal of the Confederacy. Read the Constitution of the Confederacy. Now, did they teach you this in school? I don't know. They probably didn't teach you that in school. But you should have taught yourself that. Anyway, according to Google right now, we'll talk to AI later to see if this is really true. There's no invasion of Illinois by the Texas National Guard. However, approximately 200 Texas National Guard members were deployed to the Chicago area to protect federal property and ICE operations, sparking legal and political oppositions from state and local leaders who object to the use of federal troops. The troops arrived in the area on October 7th. They're going to be there for Halloween. Perfect time for mask and chaos. And that's the Day of the Dead. Anyway, October 7th, 2025. Think about America and these people. They claim to be Christians, but what's the most important holiday is December 25th. And what is December 25th? Is it the day that Jesus or Yeshua was born? Of course not. It's Saturnalia, an ancient European paganistic tradition. But also all kind of European countries. It's the same as Yule in Germany or ancient Nordic Germanic countries. The Yule celebration. The Northern Light festivals. The Winter People celebrations. Hidden in plain sight. Celebrate Christmas or you're not America. Celebrate Christmas on December 25th or you're not American. Buy a Bible with Donald Trump's name on it for $60 or you're not American. I'm gonna ask Google some more questions real quick, cause I'm feeling I'm in one of these days. My autism does this some days. Some days I just have to research serious and become a serious person. In the Donald Trump Bible, does it include a copy of the Emancipation Proclamation? I got to go to the Wikipedia page. So God Bless the USA Bible, also known as the Tribe Bible, is an anthology. I wanted to get that Bible and read it and see how much it matched the real Bible, but I'm not paying $60 for that. That would be so against my religion. Anyway, Bible, also known as the Trump Bible, is an anthology or compilation of texts, some of them derived incomplete in the realm of American civil religion and Trumpism. Wow, they got articles for some. I got to look into that. Man, we might have to turn this into a Fighting Idiocracy podcast. In the realm of American civil religion and Trumpism, containing an edition of the King James Version of the Christian Bible, alongside texts related to the foundations political of the United States, such as purposely incomplete version of the Constitution of the United States. A purposely incomplete version of the Constitution of the United States. The Declaration of Independence and the Pledge of Allegiance. The compilation was created by blah, blah, blah. Yep, it looks like there's no Emancipation Proclamation. This is what the Republican Party goes. So now we see, according to this, a purposely incomplete. Yeah, I got to charge my other phone up. We got to get Google Gemini in on this. I'm not going to turn this into a podcast. I'm going to make this short. And this is to tell you guys, listen to my next podcast. I'm about to do a deep dive in this today. And look at me, man. My autism is getting good. I've been using a lot more, so I'm not doing the jaw thing that I do sometimes. Purposely incomplete version of the Constitution of the United States. That is what we're going to really look into all of this. To be continued. To be continued. Like, share, subscribe. Donate to the links in my channel, man. I'm homeless. They're trying to lock me up. That's probably another reason. Not even trying to lock me up. They locked me up 2 weeks for being homeless. They locked me up about 2 weeks ago for being homeless. Stay tuned. Help out. Diego Don Juan on all social media platforms and on PayPal. DiegoDonJuan. Help me continue this fight as they trying to get me up out of here. Look at my channel, man. I'm me. And it's hard being me. It's expensive. You know, a lot of people don't respect me because I've never escaped poverty. But I probably could have. I could have. You know, I went to jail for robbery I caught a robbery case when I was 18. But I learned my lesson and stopped robbing. But I could have got out and did something a lot less risky. something that you could layer. I could have gotten the pimping, I'm sure. But that's against my principles and my beliefs, my ideology, especially my personal ideology, and many million other things. I had a lot of lucrative opportunities. I got a CDL in 2002. I've never used it illegally or illicitly. Never even got close to it. That was the one thing I kept squeaky clean, but what for? Look at the trucking industry. They're MAGA. They the main ones waving these Confederate flags. My fellow truckers are the ones that I saw when I was out there on the road. And they have started arresting me in Austin, but they arrested me for some bullshit. I was going to get into it with some of those maggots if they just kept fucking sending me to North Carolina. And I kept telling and all these black truckers were mysteriously committing suicide in North Carolina. And again, bet you ain't heard this news. It's on my channel. It's on other channels. It's like during the Black Lives Matter, all they want to talk about George Floyd. Black people steady trying to talk about Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, John Crawford. Who was that one? That one legal gun owner had his permit on him. Philando Castile. What a horrible murder. We're supposed to cry over Charlie Kirk, and Charlie Kirk laughed at Philando Castile, who got shot right in front of his daughter and his baby mama right in the second seat. She started recording Facebook Live. If she didn't, he might have shot her. And why would we trust him if not? We saw what he did to Philando Castile. That was no accident. He murdered Philando Castile in front of two women because the nigga had dreadlocks. I bet you that was some kind of initiation for him. I bet you. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But does that sound like conspiracy or common sense? What would make that man unload on Philando Castile like that? I seen the body cam footage. Please explain to me why he shot Philando Castile. Fuck him no. In front of his daughter, the little girl got out the back seat and ran into the arms of a cop. This is what niggas have to go through because of racism and slavery. Your father gets murdered in front of you for nothing. For nothing. And you got to run to the same people with that uniform on. And black people are supposed to just keep accepting this. I'm not. Many others aren't either. And it's not even not. We ain't never accepted it, most of us. They got y'all thinking that niggas was just, they hit us with a whip one time and we was like, oh, we'll be gay for you. That's what I was talking about in the beginning. I forgot. I got sidetracked. Talking about homophobia. Buck breaking. How the slave masters would rape the men in front of the families, the women and children, sexually assault them. Buck breaking. And to this day, there's a program called Scared Straight where they'll send children into jail and have big black men threaten to rape these children if they won't stop skipping school or shoplifting or whatever. And most Americans love it, black, white, whatever. They love seeing big convicts. I don't know. Do they let sex offenders do it? Because most of these guys claim to be booty bandits. They like raping everybody. And those men as well, they help perpetuate this image that black males somehow, we're less human. All we think about is sex and ass. If we just get a whiff of a woman, we go crazy. Donald Trump himself, the Central Park Five, he tried to get those young boys executed for a rape they did not commit. He paid money out of his pocket to run an ad to get teenage boys murdered for raping a woman who didn't die, by the way. She didn't die. And she never said they did it. They didn't do it. Somebody who didn't look anything like a black boy did it, of course. What makes you think a bunch of 15-year-old black boys want to rape some old woman jogging through the woods? Some old white woman just because she's white. That's what they tell people. That's what they tell people. Black men, we love sex so much. We don't care if we're getting raped by the white man. Let the white man dominate you, subdue you. Listen to the red pill shit on a deeper level. You're not listening to it correctly because that's what they're saying. The red pill encourages rape. Donald Trump encourages rape, in my opinion. Freedom of speech, huh? I've been accused of a lot of shit. I've never been accused of rape. Like Donald Trump accused those little boys of raping somebody. And like Donald Trump himself has been accused of raping many, many women, many of them children. And Donald Trump has shown a lot of signs that he doesn't like children. Fuck him. He said he would fuck his own daughter when she was a child on Howard Stern's show. He said it in several times in several ways. When she was a kid. Listen to that Howard Stern shit. How old was Donald Trump? That's not evidence that Donald Trump might be guilty of the many rapes that he's been accused of. However, the Central Park Five, those boys walking home through the park in school, that's evidence that those 5 boys gang raped a woman that wasn't gang raped. She wasn't gang raped. One old Hispanic dude raped that woman. And he tried to get 5 black-skinned boys, brown-skinned boys, because it was blacks and Latins, but they were black us looking. Like we, again, I was a high schooler. Not from New York, but I'm from Chicago. We didn't talk about white women. We didn't think about white women. We liked our classmates. Black men are attracted to black women. We don't think that black people look like animals and monkeys like MAGA does. They say it all the time. They've called many female politicians monkeys. Meanwhile, their ugly females are called beautiful. I'm not trying to be mean. I don't like being mean and rude to women, but these motherfuckers say Michelle Obama is a man because she's dark and tall as an NBA player. Just because she's 6'3", or I'm sorry, she's 6'1", I believe, or 6 foot. But just because she's 6 foot, the average size of an average man, she's a man. She's delivered 2 children that look like their children. That looks like Barack Obama's daughters. That looks like Barack Obama's parents, the white parents' daughters. Barack Obama has a Hawaiian accent, but Trump says he's from Africa and he's married to a man. And I mentioned Candace Owens earlier. She's saying some woman in Britain is a man. The fuck is wrong with these people? Anyway, I got sidetracked. We're supposed to be talking about why black men are homophobes. Well, as you know, if you studied the history of our community, the drug war, especially, but all the wars, the whole reason they created the police in the country in the first place was to hunt for runaway slaves. In this next episode of the podcast, we're going to talk about 1807, a year that Trump loves talking about. We're going to talk about all of that. 1807. What happened in 1807? Hey, Google,